welcome to a Let's Talk a Contributing live stream that did not um, broadcast um, but now it's a perfect opportunity to actually broadcast the event because the Hacktoberfest started. So with Ace together, we thought like it's a good moment to start doing live streams about contributing again, especially that also in 1 month we have a conference also dedicated to AsyncAPI. So it's gonna also help us out to reach broader audience for the AsyncAPI project. We started the live stream on many different channels. So as usual, it's live streamed to YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Twitch. So follow where you want. But you can see the section on my left or your right. It's a section where we have all the comments for the for like we're showing all the comments coming from different channels. Depends where you are. But remember, like the last time I used Restream that we're using for streaming, the last time I used it, it was not supporting comments from LinkedIn and I think Twitter as well. So yeah, interact with us only through YouTube and Twitch. So far so good. So Ace, how is your setup doing? Because oh, you left me, but I hear you clicking. But it's because of the delay of this live stream. So while we're waiting for Ace to join because he had network issues, um, today's live stream, like it's a first live stream we're doing that is dedicated to Hacktoberfest. So we want to start with basics, and the basics is like introduce you to our contributor guides for Hacktoberfest participants, and also I'll be the one that will play the role of a contributor. I will pick up an issue for Hacktoberfest. I'll fork the repo, try it out locally, and fix it locally. So that's basically the goal. So I'm going through all the different materials that we have to basically explain to you the best way to contribute. And I guess I'm thinking now that maybe as a result of this call where I show the whole flow, maybe somebody can contribute a instruction for the community out of this meeting, like step-by-step instruction. What do you do first to set up to start contributing? Now, in the meantime, let me, like, because I don't think anyone is watching me because nobody said hi in the chat. Please say hi. It's really helping to see I'm actually not talking to myself, which is not that bad because it's recorded, but anyways. And like huge request because this I don't know how to call it, like this live stream. We're doing it at 4, actually 16 UTC time, which for some might be late. Like for example, it's 6 p.m. For folks from Europe. For some, it's 5 p.m. depending if you're from Portugal or England or the rest of the Europe or Ireland. How could I forget about Ireland? So just let us know, like, give us feedback. What is the best time? Like, when would you expect actually to have such live streams? What's the best hour to actually run them to reach you live in live, to have some interactions with you, answer some questions real time. So yeah, please give us that feedback. That's pretty important for us. And now I see that
Yeah, I'm just having a little bit of issue with the audio quality I'm getting back. So I have no idea why.
Now your audio is perfect. It's super loud actually. It's very good.
Super loud.
I mean, it's super loud, but it's good. I mean, it's better if it's loud because somebody can make it silent. The problem would be if you had some
Okay,
noises and so yeah, it's I would say it's good.
awesome.
Yeah. So in the meantime, when you are gone, actually, for people to explain like what's the point of this live stream, and also introduce what it's going to be about, and explained that we need community feedback to know what is the best time to actually organize these live streams. Like, is it? Do you see the comment from Jonas?
Exactly. So I think that is what I'm experiencing also, Ukash. So I can barely hear you. Weird, isn't it?
How how about now?
Now I can hear you now. So I was thinking it was from my end, not knowing it's from you, man. I'm holding you responsible.
I'm sorry, Mama. I never meant to hurt you. Um,
Come
but thank you.
on.
Like, so I'm talking like for 8 minutes. I'm talking for 8 minutes, and nobody. I mean, thank you, Jonas, for letting me know. But you could do it earlier, right? Or you just joined, which explains. So yeah, even though it was super low, I hope um, you could at least understand what's the goal of this live stream. Um, and yeah, I guess like so. I'm not sure what I finished. So yeah, I think I introduced already what's the topic for today. So I guess we can already go into playing our roles where you are a maintainer and I'm the contributor. So and but yeah, damn it, because I forgot. Like we did this live stream some time ago. So and also it's for people from Hacktoberfest, so there can be many people watching the recording later that are not so much familiar about Async API and with our faces. So maybe Ace also like before you start talking about the guide, maybe also talk about the like introduce yourself, please.
Oh, hi everyone. I'm Hayes. I'm Aziz, but I'm popularly known as Ace within the community. And yeah, a developer relations engineer with AsyncAPI. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me. But I'm more engaged in the community, and I also help contributors a lot. That's one of the fun thing about me. I love helping contributors. So if this is your first time here, I'm looking forward to seeing what you'll be doing with us. And yeah, as you may all know, you folks already know Lucas is the most popular person in the organization. Yeah, shout out to my man.
No comments. So yeah, continue.
Yes, so yeah, if it's the first time coming, or it's the first time finding about async API. So it's really simple. Async API is actually an open source tool to easily build and maintain your event-driven architectures, right? So, and in the community, in the organizations, we have a lot of tools that, as a contributor, you can contribute to. And an example of those tools are Studio, the AsyncAPI website. Um, a lot more. We have tons of tools you can contribute to. And the funniest thing is it is not just being a coder, right? A developer to contribute to a CKPI. We have all set of issues you can contribute to, which actually range from documentation to design. So if you're a technical writer, yeah, you'll feel free to contribute to the Sync API organization and join the community. And also, if you're into design, we have tons of design issues that you can jump into. and start designing, right? So it doesn't matter where you fall into this category. You'll definitely find something or some way to contribute to the Async API community. Back to you, Wokesh.
Thank you, Ace. So I'll be now. I am starting playing my role. So let me just drink a bit so my throat doesn't get sore. Okay. Um, so let me maybe share my screen, because I think the best way to actually teach you something is when I will be sharing my screen. So give me a second. Screen number. Now the question is, where's screen number two? I have too many screens. You have to tell me if you. Yeah, I think it's the right one. Boom. Sharing got started. Our faces moved down, and and I guess you can see my screen.
Yeah, but it looks kind of blurry from here.
Ah, yeah, you need to clean your glasses to see it better.
Really, man? We're gonna do that here?
You see, like the role has changed now, right? So I can't do too much about it. Um, is it getting like? Did it get better when I made it larger?
Yeah, yeah, you did. So if you're watching from YouTube, if you're watching the live stream from YouTube or any other platform, please can you confirm if the screen sharing is clear and not kind of blurry?
Yeah, and I'll also send you a link to the document that I'm now showing. Um, just give me a sec. Okay, the link got sent. Nobody confirms, but we have delay, so I assume people can see. Although I can, on my side, it doesn't look so nice.
Oh,
Um,
because you're sharing.
yeah, let me switch it off. Refresh. What the heck? Did it refresh? So like, but yeah. Anyway, like, Ace, do you see it? Do you see it now? Like better?
Okay.
Because on YouTube I see it bad. I also actually have a preview on YouTube on the other screen, and it looks crappy. Let me stop sharing again.
It was crappy on YouTube. Yeah.
I think Restream was better the year ago. Oh my god! I just clicked on end stream by accident.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, but luckily they do the systems with additional questions for someone who made a stupid mistake if they really wants to end something. Um, so again, let's share again. Okay, I think it's should be better now. So we're gonna wait a minute or two to get your. No, it's like, come on. What's
Why?
wrong?
Why? It's
What's wrong with you, Restream? Like, dude, it sucks. Oh my god, it sucks. Be fine, but again, let's take it off. Maybe not share entire screen. I'm gonna share just an application again. Okay, so I think I can start, but every time like this, can you mute yourself when you're not speaking? Because there's a lot of loud noises in the background. Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Um, so yeah, finally time to start. 17 minutes after starting the live stream. That's a record. I sent you already a link into YouTube and Twitch. So to kick off our support Hacktoberfest, Ace created two guides for contributors and the other one for maintainers. But of course, that's a live stream for contributors, so you're the most interested with the topic. So basically, that's your like the best way to start this with Hacktoberfest at AsyncAPI is to go to this guide, and and the most important is of course to familiarize with the like me as a contributor. I obviously and like there are two basic things about open source and about certain open source projects is that like the project that is like maintained in a good way. I don't want to say maintained in a good way that like if somebody doesn't have a contributor guide is not maintained in a good way. I mean, if the project wants to build a community and they encourage the contributions, they need to have contributing guide. So that's a default. Like every project that actually expects contributions should have a contribution guide. So I definitely discourage you to go to projects that don't have it. Now the other part is when it's a small project with just like two contributors, three contributors, you probably should not expect them to have code of conduct because why would you in such a small group? But in case of larger projects, like for example AsyncAPI, you should not only familiarize yourself with the contribution guide, but also with the code of conduct of the project to make sure that if you join the project and start interacting with the community, you do it in a respectful way by following all the rules that are described in the code of conduct. But it's also for your advantage. Code of conduct is not just to protect maintainers, but actually protect contributors. So you basically know what rights you have in the project. If you start contributing and somebody is mean, racist, or basically a bad person towards you as a contributor, code of conduct is there to protect you. It describes how you can seek for help if something is done wrong. But we're not going to go into details of both. You just have to look into the contributing guide and code of conduct. We're going to start with picking the right issue and talking about actually how to start interacting, because sometimes it depends on the project. But the best practice, at least in my bubble, from my point of view, best practice is that you start contributing to the project things that are useful for the project. You discussed it with the community, or there's already an existing issue in some repository. So you like the worst experience with Hacktoberfest is for both contributor and maintainer when you just come to the project, edit some README, add some like missing comma or missing dot at the end of the sentence, and you open up a pull request. You're thinking you're helping, but you're not very much helping. You're actually disturbing a bit contributors and other contributors and other maintainers in the project. Because like if you want to be a good citizen in open source and you want to get really experience in Hacktoberfest, do it the right way. Like just don't do it for the swag. You just have to do 4 contributions in 1 month. So that's not really a lot in 1 month span. So try to learn really what it is to contribute to open source, how much effort it needs, and see how grateful contributors are, maintainers are when they get contribution. Super cool feeling that I remember when my first pull request in open source got approved. when you have this feeling that you actually did something useful and meaningful for a given community. So that's my first um, advice for you as a person coming to a project from Hacktoberfest. So looking from AsyncAPI perspective exactly. So as I said, make sure that you're doing something meaningful. So there are two ways. Like we have dedicated dashboard with issues that are labeled as Hacktoberfest. We don't have many. It's just 12 issues out of 120 closed that were already closed in the past in whenever we took part in the Hacktoberfest, because now it's our third year. So that's the first place where you should go and explore like what issues you can pick up and contribute to the project. Because if something is marked as Hacktoberfest, it's marked intentionally because only maintainers can add labels. So that's the best issues to pick up. But sometimes you don't feel that it's the best you can do. You might feel that some issues are too difficult or too trivial. You don't want to do just a simple docs fix. You actually would like to contribute some code, for example. Then there's another way. And this way is basically contact maintainers and ask them what else you could do except of the issues, and just explain that you're a Hacktoberfest participant. So we have and you find it in the guide from ACE, we have a dedicated channel in our Slack called How to Contribute. So just join our Slack, join our community, join this channel, and go to this channel and basically ask, hey folks, I want to contribute as part of Hacktoberfest. How do I start? I looked into the issues that you propose, but I'd like to get something different. Like, I'd like to get some issues about where Java is involved, for example. And I can assure you that one of the maintainers will jump in and help you out to find something useful that you can contribute, or actually just point you to a proper person that you can ask for mentoring. Okay, so far so good. And yeah, then setting up the environment. Sometimes it's specific for a given repository. So of course, like, yeah, that's something needed that you have to do. And I'll gonna show you how I do it. And yeah, that's what I talked about. And quality, again, like, please, there are two parties involved in open source, especially in Hacktoberfest: contributors and maintainers. So always make sure that, like, whenever you open up pull request, you made sure that everything that you did was according to the contribution guide, that you have a correct PR title and stuff like that. But yeah, let's really see the contribution flow in action. In the meantime, let me know in the channel if everything is correct, the quality of the video and the sound and everything I'm saying so far is clear. Remember, ask questions. We have the questions, the chat rendered in the live stream, so we see your questions coming. So yeah, ask them. So yeah, now I'm playing the role of contributor. So yeah, there's an issue I want to pick up. Actually, an issue that I created before the before this live stream. So we can already see I went to the repo. I actually checked the README. I saw some mistakes in the README. In the chatbot repo, actually, I choose chatbot repo because Ace is maintainer in this repo. So actually, he can approve my pull request in the end of this live stream, and we can get it merged. But yeah, let's go to this issue. Yes. And I see, and I think you're in the live stream or not. So yeah, that's, I hope you noticed after making a comment that you want to work on, that you noticed that it's actually already booked by me. So I definitely don't want you, Mohot, to your time on this issue, because I'm gonna do it now during the live stream. So yeah, I find an issue, and I do what Mocht did. So I write a comment. Hey, that's the issue I want to work on during the Hacktoberfest. Let me do it. We don't assign issues at AsyncAPI, like because in open source, you at some point of time you learn that assignments don't make much sense. It's because like people sometimes come assign to me, and then they just gone, never come back. And this assignment is actually sometimes confusing, but because it looks like somebody's working on the issue, but they aren't. So that's why we don't use much assignments. I think some people do, but I personally don't, and I think most of the maintainers don't. So just use comments. And yeah, so I have description what's in to fix in the README, and I don't have to ask more questions. Normally, just ask more follow-up questions to the maintainer if something is not clear. And yeah, so let's check how our contributor guide works and explains things. So I'll just go follow contributing guide. So we're gonna actually validate it real time. So yeah, summary of contributions, something I talked about, open issue, discuss, open pull request, and get it approved merge, code of conduct. And yeah, the most important, like, so when you you want to work on the issue, you know what has to be done in the issue, you go to pull request. And I highly encourage you to read contribution guides, because there's one document super important that is linked in this contribution guide that I definitely encourage you to follow to actually set up your first contribution in a right way. So let's open the Git workflow document. And it's, yeah, instructions. Prepare a fork, right? So GitHub, it's a place where you host repositories, but if you want to contribute in open source, common practice is that, and it's actually by default, it's not just a common practice. If you're from outside the organization, you don't have rights to make any modifications in a given GitHub organization. You basically are not able to push any code to the upstream. You're not able to push any to create branches in some existing repositories. You have to make a copy of the repo. So basically, you have to fork the repo. So to fork the repo, you just go to the repo that you want to fork, and you click on fork. And I removed my chatbot fork before, so I can actually create it from the fork from scratch. So I want to have chatbot in my personal account, and yeah, create fork. And now you're gonna see, like, I call myself experienced maintainer, let's say, and I now will show you, like, demystify that when people think that like somebody's senior or somebody's experienced, they probably use just terminal. They use Git in terminal. They probably have even Vim editor where they write code, and probably even browser, they browse through the terminal. So no. So for example, what I do, I always click here, and I'm huge fan of GitHub Desktop. What can I do? That's who I am. So I basically go to, once I create the fork, I just click the green button and click on open with GitHub Desktop. And let's now change the screen share so I can show you GitHub Desktop. And why do I don't use GitHub CLI, for example, or Git CLI, native Git CLI? It's because I just respect people that created GitHub Desktop. If they spend their time on it, we should use it. So yeah, let me share my screen, but with the desktop, GitHub desktop. Okay. So basically, when I clicked on the green button and I had already GitHub Desktop installed, it immediately opened a new um, um, new clone of repo, and it detects that I have this fork on my local. So I'm just gonna do let's just remove me later, because anyway, later I'm gonna just remove this temporary fork that I just created. So I get the repo cloned, and again, my usual workflow looks like this. I create a repo, like I clone repo locally, and from this fork, I click on Open in Visual Studio Code. And yes, I know, in the terminal, I can most probably just do git clone the repo, and then I can enter the cloned repo, enter the directory, and I can also do code space dot to open VS Code from a given root repo. But I'm just old and I like my habits, and I just use my habits from the past, even though I know I can do it quicker and faster. Now, yeah, now the third application I'm going to show you now is the VS Code. I think it's VS Code. Yes. After clicking the button, open in Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code open for me. So that's my go-to editor for files. So in the navigation, I don't do anything yet, because now it's important to notice one thing. When you fork the repo and when you clone the repo to your local, you are still on a master branch of your fork. As you can see here at the bottom left, actually you can't see it because my name is covering the label. So I'm just gonna show it to you here in the view. Actually here as well not. Let me okay, let me cheat the system. Oh my, I can't cheat the system. Okay, so I'm not gonna, oh, okay, actually I can show it to you differently. So let me open a terminal inside the VS Code. So I can show it to you here. It's gonna set up in a second. Yeah, and so you can see I have my own plugin, not even plugin. I just configured my terminal in the way that it shows me. It hides my my home directory, and it just shows me what branch I'm on in a given terminal session. So you can see that I'm on a fork, but I'm still on a master. And how now it's a super important part. So let's go back to the instruction, because now we're going into next steps of this Git workflow instruction. Did not lost you yet. Uno moment. interesting fact is that I can't. Okay. Okay, so you can see the instructions. So in the instructions, we talk about actually how to configure your fork on local to make sure it works properly. Because by default, when you clone the repo to your local, the master branch that you have in your fork is not the same as the master branch or main branch in the upstream in AsyncAPI/chatbot in this example. It's your fork master. So let's say while I contribute and somebody opens different pull requests in chatbot and they get them merged into the master on AsyncAPI/chatbot, my local master will not get these updates automatically. I'm not going to be able also in a quick way to get these updates from the upstream, which means that my master will be out of sync with the upstream with AsyncAPI/chatbot, which basically means that once I make another contributions, I get a bunch of conflicts because all suddenly my base branch where I started working on things is not necessarily the same as what we have on the upstream. And some strange things start happening to the project. You, for example, see that in your pull request, you have changes that are actually already in the master, and it's super confusing. And I see it on my own, like regularly, at least once a month, somebody has such issues with proper configuration of fork when they want to contribute to the project. So don't go this path. Now I'm gonna again skip to the screen share proper one. So this instruction, it gives you two options. You can especially if you want to contribute like really, really long term, not just one, not just two pull requests, but actually more. It's very useful to not go through the configuration manually every time you configure your fork, especially if you want to contribute to many projects, not just chatbot, but actually also website, spec, etc. Then I always recommend to use the script that I prepared some time for the community, and that's how basically I do things. So I'm gonna now go through this instruction and show you like how it should be executed. So let's switch to Visual Studio Code. Okay, can you tell me if you can? I think you can see Visual Studio Code, but of course broken. The screen sharing in Restream sucks. Let me open the instruction on another screen so I can see it better. And yeah, so what I do, I basically, by following the instruction, I just went to my gist. I took the script that I have, I added it to my bash configuration as well. So basically I have all the instructions already in the script. So what I do usually, I just do conf fork. So I have my own git command, and I know that it accepts 3 parameters, which is the origin of the repository that I forked, which is with AsyncAPI organization, the original name of the repository, chatbot, and the main branch. In this case, it's master branch. And I hit enter, and this the script configures for me everything. But I think it's nice always before you automate things to actually do things manually. So this is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go through this instruction manually. So first you check, like if you have, like maybe you forgot you have this fork already configured. So you basically check the origin and the upstream information, and the origin points obviously to your fork. So you see, it's not AsyncAPI. It's Derberg. So it's in this case like the origin of the repo is my fork. And the same information is the upstream. Sometimes you don't have it. So basically, that's why the instruction that we have tells you to add the upstream. So actually, the information where is the upstream, the original repository located. But in this case, in case of this chatbot, when I cloned and check the information about remotes, I see the origin and the upstream. So we can skip to step 3 of the instruction, where we will fetch the master upstream. Okay, so now we are sure that like the upstream master is up to date. And what we do with the last step of the instruction, as simple as that, we just do, we basically link our origin master with the upstream master. So basically, next time when you do git pull, you are sure that you're not actually git pulling from Derberg/chatbot, but you're actually git pulling from AsyncAPI/chatbot. And it's super nifty. It speeds up the work because like you can update your local, even though it's fork, but you can update it like it's upstream. It's very useful. Now, once we have the local master configured, we need to cut out that's at least one of the names we have for it, like cut out the branch that you want to work on. So never work on the master, always create new branch for every single contribution. So git checkout and the beauty actually the beauty of using shortcuts is that I don't remember how to create a branch. So I'm gonna just do git checkout branch. That's what alias I have, but also I can edit bash, I think is my secret script. Yeah, so I can see my alias that I have, and my alias for git checkout branch is, oh yeah, so it git checkout B. Okay. So let's do git checkout B, and the branch name will be fix readme Hacktoberfest. Okay, so that's your basic setup when you want to start making actually some changes in files. And the setup prior to creating the custom branch, this is something you do just once after forking the repository. Of course, when you want to contribute to another project from AsyncAPI, you have to fork it again, you have to configure it again, but it's just one-time configuration. And later you just do git, like when you finish your branch is merged and your pull request is merged, you just do git checkout master, and you do git pull. So you pull again the changes that are in the upstream in AsyncAPI/chatbot. But yeah, let's go back to the branch where we want to make changes. Okay. And we're gonna make changes in the README. So the changes were about like making this section overview. And because like that's usually how we talk overviews. Also, BRs are not really important and should be used in Markdown because GitHub is adding a break line after every single heading. And if we add it, then it looks strange. So we have to make sure that we don't have the break lines. Now, the second part of the issue was to get rid of coming soon stuff, because like actually and the stuff were added there like 13 months ago, I think. So obviously sometimes you just can't do things in a given project. You have to jump to another one. So it's not good practice to say coming soon because you're making promises that actually are hard to accomplish. So let's make sure that we don't talk about anything coming soon. If something is coming soon, that's what basically issues should be for. Ace, can you remind me? That's also not there, right? Dear maintainer, can you confirm that this part should also be removed?
Yes, yes, of course.
Maintainer. And
You're welcome, contributor.
so it's fine. And then yeah, Docker, there's an issue for it, so we don't have to say it's coming soon. Like when we're gonna have it, we're just gonna add it. And in case of contributing, we should have like actually we have contributing MD. So we just said should have read more in contributing MD. And now let me just check if the link is correct. Yes, it's correct. Contributing MD is opening. So that's it to contribute the changes. So the most important actually improvement here is the getting rid of stuff that we promise that are coming soon. And something important to notice, like even though these are some trivial changes that could apply to every repo, they not necessarily have to. AsyncAPI consists of 60 different repositories with different maintainers. In this case, me and Ace are maintainers, so we're okay to make this cleanup. With other repositories, if you see some coming soon, or you see the break lines, and you say, hey, if Łukasz fixed it in the chatbot, then probably it should be fixed in the other repo. Not necessarily. If there's no issue about it, then create one, or ask the maintainer if one should be created, and you should do it. So yeah, that's all saved. And now I know in the terminal, I could now just commit all, push it, open a pull request, etc. But I'm not going to do it because that's not how I do things. I use Git in CLI only to really set up the fork, pull from the master and create branch, and that's it. And then later I just really switch to GitHub Desktop. So we're gonna do it again. You don't have to thank me. So just give me a sec. Again, I have to switch screens. Just give me a second. That Maya asked for Hacktoberfest issues, so I'm gonna just copy the link, but you normally have the link in the.
Yeah, send the link already.
You sent it? Okay. So yeah, let me go back to the. GitHub Desktop. I'm almost there. But it's ugly as usual. This needs to improve. What was the name? It's GitHub Desktop. Yeah. So why I actually do it, like why I don't um, use terminal. Again, it's like habits. Like as I said, like I'm old. I have my habits and stuff that work for me as always. And I basically as a I started in tech not as a coder. First, I just did not believe in myself. I thought that I'm crappy coder and I'm not. Like I finished computer science and I thought like I'm basically useless. So, but I knew English, so I said like, yeah, I can at least do technical writing. So when I was really starting practicing many years ago, to understand Git in a better way, especially that it was something coming, that it was something new when I started. There was not too much guides about it. So and there are many different tools, like not even GitHub Desktop. I don't remember one. It was something that was later acquired by Atlassian. So I really enjoyed having a visual clients because I could always easily spot, like on the left, you can see the list of files that got changed. And on the right, always when you click on the given file, you can see what's actually being removed from the file, what's added. I simply prefer this. It's I'm a person that use eyes, that has this passion for design, which is total false. But yeah, what so what I do now, I commit this change in the README, and I do something like actually docs colon, and I say update, actually remove coming soon from README. So the commit message has to say what is it doing, what it's introducing, what change it's introducing in the project. And I'm going to talk about this in a sec, this strange prefix. So just what I click, I just commit to the branch, and I click on publish branch, and I click on create pull request. And again, let me change the share screen. And that's another reason why I use GitHub Desktop, because it has this button, create pull request, and this button takes me directly to GitHub to the create pull request view of a given change. So I can see like that my change will go to AsyncAPI bot, a chatbot, to the master branch, and it's going to go from my fork from this specific branch. And I see my commit is already used as a PR title. I see some template, so I can, in the description, I can say update README to remove coming soon, remove break lines, and yeah, that's break lines. Is it break lines or break lines? No, break, right? Damn it, like it's break lines. Okay, and
Yes.
okay, thank you. And yeah, the last important part is
I'm typically saying yes because when I ask you a question, you just say yes. Doesn't mean I'm correct.
um, number that I'm fixing, and basically I specify that this pull request resolves. Oh, I hate you, GitHub, for doing it. Oh, yeah, resolves this particular issue. When I do it this way, it's once we merge the pull request, it will automatically close the issue. So it's a nicer automation that comes out from GitHub by default. And yeah, even though I have a correct PR title, I'm gonna break it, and basing on the way I break it, I'm actually gonna explain what this prefix is, and that's the last step of the contribution. So yeah, create a pull request. Hey maintainer, are you excited because you got pull request?
It seems I'm on sick leave.
Yes, but you work on open source, and in open source you anyway do stuff during sick leave, spare time, weekends, etc. Um, so
Wow.
I'm
I
not
just
gonna.
got notified.
Oh, did you? Oh, that's so fast, amazing. And in the
I
meantime, you can
did.
see that. In the meantime, you can see that there are some things happening to the pull request. Like for example, we have Sonar Cloud checks enabled that check the quality of the code or do some security scans. We also run many different things by default, like testing, in case there are some tests. But I don't think Ace provided tests for the chatbot. And the important check is lint PR title. Lint PR title. And why it's so important? So in the contributing guide, you have this section which is called conventional commit, something that not all open source projects adopted. We adopted it strongly, and it is super cool because it allows you to automate. Because if you have, and we're following conventional commit specification that you can read more about later, but there's basically a spec where that defines how the prefix should be named to trigger later some automation if you have one in place. So for example, when you do a pull request that has a feed prefix and you're using semantic release package, then you have proper automation in place, then it can figure out, hey, you just merged a pull request that has feed prefix, then it means I have to actually trigger the release automation. And then automatically out of the box, thanks to the bot, you have the release done depending where you specified it, npm, docker, whatever. So that's pretty critical. Like if you don't have it, um, let's refresh the view. If you don't have it, and now I'm thinking, like, do we have it in this repo? It's gonna be fun if it fails, because usually live demo fails. So this one has also have to fail. No, PR title, it's here. So it should run. Why it's waiting? What's happening? Like, are there so many Hacktoberfest participants that all the CI runners are blocked?
I hope so.
The hell? Waiting for the status to be reported. And it's for sure, there is this workflow, lint PR title, and it's pointing to pull request target. So everything should be fine. Let's go to actions. Let's see what's happening. Nothing is triggering. Like, that's gonna be fun if it's. Let's try GitHub status. Let's see. Maybe there's an outage that we've hit during the live stream. GitHub status. Oh my god! Oh my god. Yes, we managed. Like we got a GitHub outage on live stream. So sorry, folks. Yeah, like we're not gonna be able to show you the entire workflow. And there was one particular super cool thing that I wanted to show. But yeah, um, GitHub is having issues with actions. Um, so we can only just finish here and ex- provide so-called dry explanation. So not interactive, not really showing things in live, but basically saying what will be the next thing. So the next thing would be like if the actions would work, the test would go green, but the lint PR title would be red, and it would be red because the automation that we have in place would figure out that there is no prefix in the PR title. And we also, the cool stuff I wanted to show is that like one of our contributors added super cool automation where we also, like we don't just show that it's red, but actually our bot makes a comment to the pull request and says like, hey, we're following conventional comments here, and provides examples of different prefixes that you can use. So, but yeah, we can't show it to you. So basically that would that would turn um, um, red, but then I would just go to edit, fix it, save it. This action of saving would trigger automation again. It would turn green. And only then is the moment where really a maintainer can actually merge your pull request. Because certain automation is mandatory. So even maintainer doesn't have power to merge a pull request that has some automated checks failing. So your last step is not create the pull request. Your last step as contributor is to create a pull request and make sure that all the checks, automated checks, actually turn green. And if they don't, check the logs. If you can't figure anything from the logs, then add comment asking maintainer for support. And then maintainer will help you out, tell you what has to be fixed. Sometimes maintainer can be delayed. Like maintainer will not answer in 5 minutes after creating the pull request. Sometimes they will answer the next day. So just be patient. But in Hacktoberfest, we know it's just 1 month. So like always try to like after 1 day ask in the comments like, hey, is there anything I can do to speed up the merging, etc. But if everything goes well, it gets green, then you have such a nice maintainer as Ace adding comment like, well done. I know it's well done because I did it. Um, then he'll just accept and merge. And kaching, first contribution done. As cool as that. And that's it from my side. Anything I missed, Ace?
No, you did absolutely great, Mukash. Yeah, that was. I'm gonna rate you 100 of 100. That was a really nice walkthrough.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mukash. So I'm gonna add a couple of things from the contributor's perspective. Yeah, so as a contributor, if you are having issues, maybe setting up your local environment, and uh, uh, an example is if you contributing to the website or the doc section in the website and you're using Windows, right? And you follow the normal guide of set of fucking the repository, setting up locally, and for some reason you're facing some challenges in accessing some particular pages in the docs, right? And yeah, so we have that particular issue because it is Windows related. Yeah, so we have some alternative ways of doing it. But if you can find it, right, or you have an hard time figuring how to set it up, you should feel free to reach out to Hi and Wukash on the in the Slack channel. We are always willing to hop on a call with you or have a quick chat with you, help you resolve your issues. And this doesn't have to be, about environment setting up, right? It could be anything, anything that is delaying you from opening your pull request, or you getting stuck at some point in time. Yeah, we are always there to help you through the entire journey. And yeah, so we are also looking forward to seeing your first contribution.
Perfect. Thanks for adding this. Um, I don't see any comments coming in, so we either um, put people in sleep, laughing at GitHub Actions and the status of GitHub. So yeah, I think we can finish. It's like 10 past, almost 10 past. I have to go and feed my kids. And yeah, so from my side, thanks a lot. I think we're gonna do it, especially in October, more regular. So stay tuned with AsyncAPI on any channel you prefer. And remember, like in 1 month, we have a conference. You can go to conference.asyncapi.com to learn more. But it's basically an Async API community conference where we don't have only presentations about using Async API specification, Async API tools, but also we have presentations from contributors. So if looking for some mentorship or some inspirational talks from people that decided to contribute to open source and how it ended up for them, I also encourage you to join this conference. Anything from you, Ace, before we end the stream?
No, not at the moment. I'm just looking forward to doing the next stream.